And then out of nowhere, former Olympian Bob Samuelson, great guy, great jungle guy, calls up and says, I'm listening, Rome. I'm on my way to play golf, and I've got a Charles Oakley story too. So we went off the air. Did anything become of that? Because I saw that somehow right in the middle of the whole thing is none other than Jeff in Socal.
Yeah, so Jeff had tweeted you that he was also at Rancho Park Golf Course, which is a great historic golf course here in Los Angeles. Really hard to get on because it's one of the most publicly played golf courses. So kind of weird that they were both there at the same time on the middle of a weekday. And because they were there right around the same time and Jeff was listening to the show, he actually went and ran down Bob Samuelson, took a picture with him, and then sent it to us. So,
do you have a sense of how that went? Was Sammy up for that? Was he cool with that?
Not only was he cool with it, apparently Jeff invited him to play in some pre or post Smack Off golf tournament next year. As you know, some people went out and played after the Smack Off this year. Silk and Jay Stu and Rich Flores were there. So now Jeff has got Bob playing golf with the Clones next summer after the Smack Off.
Wait, did Bob already consent to that? Did he say yes?
He did. Yes, he did.
You got an Olympian rolling with clones.
Yeah. And Bob,
do you have a sense of how good either or both of their sticks are?
I don't know anything about Jeff's game. I don't like the way Jeff dresses for the golf course, but Bob shot an 83.
Dude, he's trying to get me to follow up to get me to talk about your clothing line?
Nope, not at all. I didn't like Jeff's look yesterday.
Why?
The shirt wasn't tucked in and the hat was backwards. That's a disgrace. Yeah, there are people that wake up at 3 a.m. to go cut the grass and mow the greens, and you treat the golf course like that, Jeff. Tuck that shirt in and put that hat forward. But Bob shot an 83 at Rancho, which is quite difficult. So good for him.
Hey, Boomer, that is amazing. Did you just say tuck that shirt in and put that hat forward?
And get some pants on, too. Get some long pants on. Golf is a privilege. I mean, it is an expensive game that not everyone can play, and there are people that work really hard to maintain that amount of real estate out there, and you go and dress like you're at a house party for it. I show some respect.
Because it's a gentleman's game, and you have gear to sell.
It has nothing to do with that. I have not mentioned the name of the company, nor will I. It's simply about showing respect to a game that shows respect to its players. It is a highly manicured golf course, and you're out there looking anything but.
You know, Adam, I got to give you some credit because normally when I come to you, you're not prepared. You give me some bullcrap answer or you tell me what I want to hear and you go all Eddie Haskell with it. This is like the most impassioned I've heard you about anything in quite some time.
Yeah, I really don't like the way people dress out on the golf course, and this has nothing to do with what I do on the side. This just has to do with the fact that you really should show some more respect for the game that you're playing.
All right, let's be clear about one thing. Is this about the way a guy dressed, or is this a Jeff and SoCal thing? For instance, and I love the guy, but how did Bob Samuelson look on the course?
Samuelson looked good. He looked good. His hat was on forward. I'll give him
Why
that.
are you stumbling and stammering all over yourself when you say it?
I want to see those shirts tucked in, all right? I want to see some long pants out there. But Bob's hat was on forward, and I have nothing but respect for Bob. He represented our country in the Olympics. How can I go after an Olympian, especially one that's so nice to the show and so nice to me? And in fact, I look forward to one day playing golf with Bob. That would be great.
All right, so is it just a golf course thing? Can you flip your lid around backwards generally, or do you have to always wear it? And I'll tell you why I asked this question. I'm flashing back. When you went on that little diatribe of yours about, come on, man, tuck your shirt in, wear your hat the right way, wear it forward, I literally flashed back to a moment that I had in the 818. I'm going to say mid to late 90s. And there was a guy, I don't know if you've heard of this guy or not, Hawk, knowing the way you know sports or don't. This guy's name is Pete Rose. He's the all-time hit king. Have you heard of him?
Ichiro's the all-time hit king, but I have heard of Pete Rose, absolutely.
Fair enough. All right. So Pete Rose I was very good with. And in fact, I haven't talked to Pete in a number of years, but I'm still good with Pete. Pete and I had a good relationship. I've got a few Pete stories. Pete once gave me a pair of cowboy boots that he had worn a number of times, but wanted me to have them. And I know he was coming from a really good place. That's a different story. But one day I'm on Ventura Boulevard, and I want to say I might have even been at Jerry's Deli. Guy Starkman. And I might have been there. I can't remember exactly where I was, but I was there for breakfast, and Pete's having breakfast, and it was one of those Saturday mornings where you kind of run out of the house, maybe you don't shower, and you throw a lid on, right, because you got bedhead. I'm wearing it backwards. Pete had no problem with coming up to me and saying, yo, Romy, man, how about some respect? Wear that thing forward. And I thought to myself, damn, Pete, I mean, you're my guy and all, but are we going to talk about respecting the game? But I mean, he had no problem, and it wasn't like a reason to go, and he wasn't totally disgusted, but he made sure, come on, man, show some respect. Wear that hat the right way. Is that what you're talking about?
I think there's a time and a place for everything. So if that's the way Pete wanted to have you look, then that's his disposition. Sure. My favorite human being on the earth was famous for wearing his hat backwards.
Ken Griffey Jr.,
yes, right? Yes, absolutely. So there's a time and a place for all of this. I just think that the golf course and maybe going to meet Pete Rose and his cowboy boots requires a forward hat. But, you know, I don't make the rules. I just follow them. And a golf course is a sanctuary, and you should show some respect for that place.
Yeah, but that's not typically a rule, though, right?
It should be, and
it might be an unspoken rule, and you might want it to be a rule, but is it written down anywhere?
No, and that's part of my frustration with the game is you've got a bunch of idiots out there that look like crap playing golf, and they wear horrible clothes, and they look like crap, and they're playing a great game, and it's
Dude, I can't believe the way you spun me into an infomercial for your company. This is absolutely insane the way you did that. You know what, Hawk? You might be the smartest guy in the room. All right, so now that you've laid out everything that's wrong with it, why don't we give them an idea of what's right with it? In the ideal Adam Hawk world, what should they look like, and how do they find out, or where do they go to get that look? Go ahead, Adam. Say it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and I promise you I wasn't angling for it. This was merely a jungle take about Bob and
Whatever.
Jeff.
Take the pitch, dude, and run with it.
I think you should wear a collared shirt tucked in with any kind of belt that isn't white and put some FootJoys on. Get rid of those
Shut up, Adam.
Nikes.
What's the website, and what's the name of the company?
NationGolfCo.com. NationGolfCo.com. We want to make the golfer look better. And that's it. Just it's a game that deserves that kind of respect, and that's what we're doing.
Two final thoughts. So you sent me a polo shirt. I rocked it. I did wear it. I didn't leave my house, but I did wear it. Dude, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
And one more thing, your partner, haven't met him yet, but man, my man looks like a young Andy Reid. He looks like Andy Reid Jr. How is homeboy? Is he getting after it?
I think he'll take that. Yeah, Ryan Engel, Andy Reid Jr., he is getting after it. Great guy. Surf legend down in San Clemente. And we really appreciate the fact that you rocked the polo, and we were happy to gift that to you. And anytime you want another polo, we've got 8 of them. We're happy to bestow those upon you.
Let's not get crazy. You know what, though, dude? It looked good. It felt good.
Thank you.
I liked it. All right, so you give my best to Reid Jr. And way to go, Adam. One of your better efforts. I haven't said that very often, and I'm not sure if I'll ever say that again. Hawk was taking that very seriously. Go ahead and react to it. When we come back. Really unusual thing when people are saying, I agree with Hawk. I appreciate Hawk. Hawk got that right. As an example, Charlie Roth tweets, Hawk is spot on, Rome. Tuck your shirt in and wear the hat correctly. When you are at your own home, or more likely, the trailer park, you can dress like a slob. Boy, whatever. Quote, holy smokes. I just agreed with the sparrow. Well done, Adam Hawk. At Not Total Big E tweets, backwards hat on golf course is the ultimate D-bag. Mike and LFK tweets, Hawk just put Jeff and Socal over his knee and spanked him and then sent him to bed with no dinner. War Hawk turning into a dad on air. Sam in Grand Rapids tweets, God forbid you show up to the track with your shirt untucked, but a bunch of meth head jailhouse looking tats is legit? WTF. He's talking about Hawk also. Yeah, Adam. I mean, kind of counterintuitive, right? Yeah, yes, your shirt is tucked in, but what about those, quote, meth head, jailhouse looking tats? Casey, New Hampshire tweets, golf courses or a sanctuary? I thought they were a runway. Signed, Harrison Ford. Jesse G tweets,
off my plane.
I'll make sure to, quote, respect the game. Next time, me and my buddies are shotgunning beers and using the woods like a urinal on a Saturday morning. At Mike T474, this also was not lost on many of you. He tweets, did Hawk just say that Ichiro is the hit king? The Japanese league don't count, pal.
Ichiro's the all-time hit king, but I have heard of Pete Rose. Absolutely.
Fair enough. I love this one, too. At Mock Moda. Hey, Rome. Pretty fresh for a guy who looks like a washed-up porn star with prison tattoos to tell me to respect the game. Hey, kook, respect yourself. Charlie and Goochland, quote, if it's over 90 degrees outside, you'll catch me on the golf course with no shirt on. I showed my respect when I paid to play. Hawk shaking his head at that. At Hitman Canadians in, quote, taking fashion advice from Adam Hawk is like taking birth control advice from Alvin DeLauro.
Dude, no.
Dude. You have a rain jacket, use it. Dude, 2 words. Wrap up. Don't do as I do as I say. Hey, Rome, Hawk being critical of somebody's wardrobe is the richest thing ever. Have you ever seen this guy? His fashion sense is a clash between kindergarten art meets thrift store hipster. Wore Joe Kelly, headhunting, Hawk's Closet.
Thanks, Joe.
Damasio in Albuquerque. You know who's kind of down with your gear, your look, and I'm not happy about it? Jake Rome. Jake Rome thinks it's kind of like hipster cool, but then Jake Rome goes to thrift stores. Jake Rome, man. Jake Rome rolls up one day with like this golf pullover. How you like this, Dad? I'm like, I don't know, son. Where did you get that crap? Did you go to a garage sale? He's like, no, I went to a thrift store, though, and it cost me 99 cents. It's nice. I'm like, wow, bro, really? You have any idea where that jacket's been? Who's worn that jacket? You've got that in the house? Hey, why don't you sleep in that thing? Because there's going to be bed bugs in this entire home. Did you wash that thing before you put that thing on? And then this is long form. Jimmy, as you would expect from a company run by Hawk. I want to stop right there. Hawk, do you run that company? He's shaking his head, yes. I thought that he had a minority slice of the company. Now he runs the company. Bro, do you run TaylorMade now? Jimmy, as you would expect from a company run by Hawk, 6 of the 8 shirts on Hawk's company website are sold out. All 6 are the collared shirts. It's pretty weak, Hawk. That's pretty Hawk. He gets free airtime on a major nationally syndicated program, and he's not ready. Let me stop right there. It's the same Hawk who told me that he was going to put some jungle gear in front of me like a year ago. Haven't seen that yet either. I digress. This goes on, quote, also, if he is so big on showing respect for something, I am deeply offended as a supply chain professional that his supply chain is in such disarray. I should stop you right there. I don't know that his supply chain is in total disarray. He did find a way to get me one of the collared shirts. This email goes on. You always have to have one more unit in inventory than sold. That is the only way to make sure that you are not leaving sales on the table. Forecast better, Hawk. Build flexibility and robustness into your supply chain. And most importantly, if Jim is gracious enough to allow you to plug your company on his major nationally syndicated show, get your house in order. Steve in Vancouver. Hey, Steve, if I could put you in the smack off for an email, I would. Dude, if you put Jeff in Socal over your knee and spanked him, he just put you over his knee and spanked you. Get your ass back to your room. No dinner, Hawk. What a great lesson that was for you. Did you read that? Did you hear that? Are you paying attention? Get your house in order, man. Always have one more unit in inventory than sold. You know why? Because you don't want to leave any sales on the table. Because you want to build flexibility and robustness into your supply chain. And most importantly, as the man said, if I am gracious enough to allow you to plug your company on my major, nationally syndicated In fact, international, global program. Get your freaking house in order, Hawk.
You call yourself a salesman?
You son of a bitch. Steve Vancouver. There is more. There is more, Adam. Quickly. Bob Samuelson checked back in via text. Put him on. What did he say? When you were not as critical, but you did say, my man, you got to tuck it in. What did he say?
First off, to Stephen Vancouver, screw you, buddy.
I didn't ask you to. Okay, go ahead.
How about a compliment for selling out of some new gear? I mean, we sold out. That's great. Also,
yeah, but how do we know what you sold out? Maybe you sold two? How do we know what you sold out?
We're in the middle of a pandemic, Steve. Maybe getting new supply isn't as easy as it sounds, Steve. Bob Samuelson.
Why don't you take this up with him offline?
Bob Samuelson.
I guarantee you're going to lose that fight. He sounds like he knows what he's doing. I'm not so sure. Go ahead.
After I critiqued Bob Samuelson for not having his shirt tucked in, he wrote back to me, dude, you're right. That's on me. Shirt will be tucked in moving forward. I'm coachable.
Incredible.
I love this guy.
Yeah, of course you do, man. He's important and he agrees with you. Of course you love him. What do you mean you love him? 24 hours ago, you never even heard of him.
He's great.
You fall hard, dude.
I love him.
You fall hard and you fall fast. You love him. He is great.
Bob is the man.
All right. There you go. Stephen Vancouver with a thrashing of Adam Hawk and Adam lashing back, lashing out, trying to clap back. All right, we can get back to the show at hand now. When we come back, give me back my show. Yeah, okay. This goes back to another guy who was a part of the program. Not a part of the program yesterday, but became content and show fodder today because of something he did yesterday. Once again, a really quick reset. Olympian Bob Samuelson called the show from a golf course. We said what golf course it was. Jeff in Socal conveniently had a tee time on that same golf course. Jeff in Socal found said Olympian Bob Samuelson and pushed across a photograph. Adam Hawk saw the photograph. Adam Hawk, who apparently is the self-appointed tastemaker or authoritarian on golf etiquette, smashed Jeff in Socal for the way he dressed. Jeff in Socal would like to come on the air and talk about that briefly. Jeff, what's up? How are you?
Jim, how are you, my man?
Good, dude. You?
After hearing what Hawk had to say, spent the last hour and a half kind of reflecting, and I'd like to apologize to absolutely no one. Jimmy, dude, first of all, my game is trash. Let me tell you, I shot 103 yesterday, Jim. I've only been playing for about the last month while work has slowed down. And for me, golf is more of a outdoor day drinking activity. It's a lot easier to tell my pregnant wife that I'm going, quote unquote, golfing than just crack a White Claw open in front of her at 11:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. So that's kind of where I'm at. And Jim, I was in the very exclusive Peloton Lululemon golf shirt yesterday. I would take that shirt over Hawks gear any day. So again, not sorry. I will continue playing the way I like to play, which is with a cold beverage and pretty terrible.
Oh, man. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Rack him, Jeff in Socal. I'll rock that call. I knew for a fact that guy was not apologizing. Yeah, Jeff in Socal. When was the last time that guy apologized for anything at all? Much less that. I love that this guy at middle age, or however old Jeff is, picking up golf for the first time in the middle of a pandemic while his wife is pregnant. So he can say, yeah, I'm going golfing, as opposed to I'm going to the bar, or as opposed to cracking open that White Claw in the middle of the morning. I don't know, dude. I don't know how you're going to do that. I'm not sure how you'll handle your business. I would suggest to you, get it in now. Get it in now before the kid arrives. It's going to be tougher to sell that, my man. If I were you, I'd try to break 100 before then. What did he say he wore? His Peloton Lululemon? Lululemon shirt from Peloton. All right. I can see that. I can see that. This guy apologized. He goes, I apologize for absolutely nothing. Yeah, I know. I know this, Jeff. You certainly did not apologize for your 20 years of WNBA takes. You certainly did not apologize for your takes on Mona. I know you didn't apologize for your take on the private. Dude, you've never apologized for anything, and you never will.
Private.
Have you ever owned anything or apologized for anything? No. So he's sticking his guns. Bob Samuelson owned it. Jeff and Socal is not.